Hello and howdy. Welcome to UI Fridays with Alyssa. My name is Alyssa, and this is UI Friday. Hi. Oh my goodness. It's been a week. We're moving states, so we'll be 4 hour move. And as you know, possibly, you might know, living in a house with moving and packing and painting and blah blah blah. It's fun. It's fun. It's not the most productive environment I've ever been in. Welcome. How are you doing this Friday? It is 1 p.m. 1:07 to be exact on this beautiful UI Friday in Kansas City. Had to actually think about where I am. What time is it for you? Where are you at? Joining us from? More importantly, what UI questions plague you on this Friday? I have a little bit of stuff I wanted to start getting into, and I think maybe dive into more heavily to next week. But first, I just want to see how everybody's doing. Get a feel of the room. Let's see, pulling up some stuff to share with you on my screen. So last week we talked about compositor layer and performance in animations, and I think the top two ways that we discussed if you're going to animate and you want it to be performant, transform, so any of the transforms, and also opacity, which after you've either done a transform or opacity, you need to go ahead and promote the element so that only happens on the compositor layer. So that's what we were talking about last week. And while I was living life, ran across, let's do that. Let's share the screen. Welcome to the stream if you're just now joining. What time is it for you? Where are you joining from? 1:10 almost here in Kansas City, Missouri. Let's share that screen with the share button and the share and the share button and the share. But yeah, let me know in the chat what time it's for you. What are you doing on this beautiful Friday? So while I was just kind of hunting for more performance tips, looking into something that I really want to create a project around, and hopefully next week I'll have something to show around it, is detecting when you're actually in the compositor layer. So if anybody has any experience with that, hit me up because I want to know more about that. But while I was digging around for that, I found this tweet by a friend I follow, Dave Geddes, and wow, you would think I just asked for the world to load. I don't. Is it me? Is it the link? Who's gonna ask these questions? We'll try it again, and then I'm gonna hit up fast because I mean we're moving. We're moving. I'm wondering if it's the link to the tweet. It makes me wonder. Let me try this one. I think that one had just gotten borked or something. That's weird. So Dave was talking about the largest contentful paint. Audio and video is nice, so think your internet is good. Thank you, Fuel. Thank you, darling. So yes, as I was digging into animation performance and I found this, I was like, oh, this is so brilliant. So I wanted to share this with this copy link to tweet. I'm gonna post it in all the channels, so watch out. What time is it for you, Fuel? Late, early, midday, like me. But I love this. Apparently he has a post that's going more into the metric of LCP and how to see if you, I loved this screenshot in particular. I'm gonna make it massive. So this whole post goes into more, but I love this part where you can open DevTools and actually check for the timings of every single thing on your page. So I loved that. Absolutely check this out. Hey, Saul, good to see you. I almost didn't make it on stream today. I was like, have you ever just had one of those days where you want to like crawl under a rock and then just like pile more rocks on top of that rock? I'm just like, oh, yeah, that's me today. So hopefully I can like, are you okay? Yeah, it's just like moving and family, and it's just sometimes it's overwhelming. But I'm here, and we are going to talk about UI, and hopefully it'll be fun. I feel that. Yeah. Thank you, Salt. Ugh, it's good to have. Turtle Guy UI question. What is your favorite framework and why is it Ember? For anyone who doesn't know, Turtle Guy is the one and the only person who, the only Turtle Guy who got me into gaming, first of all, programming, and then also marriage. So he's responsible for all of that. He's harassing me because he knows I love Angular. Hi, but he loves Ember. And is it actually Ember JS? Like, is that proper? Do people call it Ember JS? Like, I thought it was like React or Vue. You just say Ember. So you're kind of, Anywho, annoyingly. Oh god. So yeah. Turtle's also feeling the family stress with me here today. Welcome if you're just now joining us. I saw the number pop up. Does the Kendo UI Silverlight lose support as Silverlight is out of support by this October? I don't know. Namburi. It's a really good question. I know I'm on the Angular side of life, and this UI show primarily revolves around CSS, so I can answer those questions. But I know that we have a killer support team, so I would just ping our support team. Even if you're on a trial, you have access to support. So good questions, one that I didn't know, but yes, I would definitely ask them about that, because I do remember I did a sunsetting Silverlight stream with some Microsoft friends a little ways back. So I know that's inbound. I know it's on people's minds if you're still supporting products like that. So that can be difficult. But thanks for tuning in. Today we are talking about, well, first of all, I wanted to show you Dave Getty's tweet. I can't even talk. Generated CSS. So I think I'm going to do a show about generated CSS. I don't know if any of you saw. Oh, it's loading. Pratham. I don't know. I don't want to mess that up. So I'll just say they. They did a tweet about different generators for CSS and not like writing your own CSS, which I found really amusing. And actually some of these are really, really cool. Did you say Blazor? I swear I heard Blazor. That's Salt. I mean, I like Blazor and I have .NET friends, and I know Ed who also likes Blazor. Do you? Salt, I don't think you like Blazor. You're like a CSS bro. What are you talking? What are you talking about? Anyways, really cool tweet. Last tweet I share, but I think I'm going to do a show. So do I, LOL. CSS and A11Y, which is Allie, or can I don't know. Turtle told me it's A11Y. Like, don't say Allie, because I think I was calling it Allie at one point in my life. Here's that one that goes into really cool things like this stripe generator, which I wanted to pull up, and the gradient generator, and there's like a pattern one. Just really freaking cool. Like, look at this generator. Like, you're creating stripes. Ooh, that green on yellow, it gets me. But yes. Really? Salt is saying that they're A11Y, Ally are all fine to say. That is really good to know, because I know you're really heavy into the accessibility side of things, and sometimes it stresses me out to reference those, or I18N, because I'm like, oh god, I know I'm saying it wrong. That's really good to know. But no, I love looking at things like this. And then there's like gradient ones as well, which these tools are super helpful to generate. Like, who wants to write this out? Like, I for sure don't. So that tweet that I shared a couple talking words ago, it has all of these. And I think we should definitely do an episode where we dive into talking about generated CSS, because this stuff is pretty clean. Like if you look at this, it's just generating a background image and a background size with like hexes and percentages. Like it's all pretty clean. But there are times, and this kind of dives into the meat of what I wanted to talk about today, where you export something or generate CSS with something, and it's like, it's a nightmare to use, and it's so hard to reiterate on or look at. And so these kind of things are wonderful, and nobody wants to write out that background image line. But the thing I really wanted to talk about today was animating Svg, something that's very near and dear to my heart. And Salt said that, I think I've used that tool before, but he was also saying, oh yeah, I18N, I10N, and K8s are all numeronyms. I freaking, so is A11Y, right? They're all, it's because there's Turtle Guy told me this, that they're like 18 letters between like internationalization, the I and the N. And so that's why it's I18N, which I had no idea. Apparently the same with a localization. I'm so confused now. Oh, that's what the L10N is for, localization. I didn't know numeronyms was even a word. I've got to look this up. 1 second. Everyone hold. Numero. I don't even know how I spelled it. Numeronym. A number-based word. Wait, what? A number-based word. What? A word where a number is used to form an abbreviation. Interesting. I mean, apparently this is a thing. Oh, wait, I think I saw an image that was like really helpful. Yeah, that one. That's bizarre because there's 11 between the A and the Y. Fascinating. What the heck? It's like a whole new world. I had no idea there were so many out there. I thought there were just the 2. I feel so silly now. Wow. Common ones? There's common ones? These are less, I don't know if these are legit numeronyms. Maybe they are. But this kind of stuff, absolutely fantastic. Had no idea. It's beautiful. Yes, so we shall have a show on generated CSS and talk about it. But that kind of leads me into something that I'm super passionate about, and I have really loved for a long time. And I don't know why I just linked randomly to my page and not the actual one. Type all. I'm on my GitHub. I need to be on my code pin. We're just going to click on this. The code pin. So I love Svg. I found this in the wild yesterday when I was on GitHub. That's why I linked to it, because I wanted to show it to you in the wild when I was turning on dark mode, and you see this Svg in the corner, and I'm actually going to like make it as big as oh no, it disappears at that one. We're going to do that. I wonder if that's as big as I can hold. Everyone hold. I think that's as big as I might be able to like zoom in with what is it, control scroll, but I don't actually know if that comes across on stream. So you can let me know if it comes across on stream. It makes it hella blurry. But I saw this adorable little cat animation that pops up over the bushes whenever you turn night mode on, and then of course the flickering colors, and I was just like, absolutely beautiful. But what is even more amazing is how they did it. And so I actually pulled out their Svg, and I will share this with you. Share where. Yeah, I think this will work. I think just sharing this. I think just sharing that will work. But I was like, I was just like casually looking through someone's SVG that's in line, because that's what I do. And it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. I've had to clean up some SVG before, especially from, like, we were talking about generated CSS. And I, sometimes even like with Illustrator, it can be a bit nightmarish if you don't group things properly in your file and then you export, and then it's just like a nightmare of empty groups and everything is a path, right? Instead of actual shapes. Because I don't know if you know this about SVG, but it's not just a path element, which you can use to draw custom shapes. And these are the points that it's using to draw them within its own custom matrix. But there's also like circle elements. And you can always tell if it's like hella generated SVG versus, oh, like this is like carefully curated, lovingly put together SVG, if they actually have elements. And so I love that. I was going through this and I was just, there's a lot of paths for the custom little pieces, but it was beautiful. Like whenever I find something, because I was like, I wonder how they're animating that. And my first thought was, please don't let it be a GIF. And so I loved it. I wanted to shout this out and inspect it and maybe talk a bit about animating it. And I think we could definitely do more shows on SVGs. This is something that I don't know. I love inline SVG. I wanted to go through, so we pulled up the inspector and I wanted to highlight the different chunks. And so you'll see here this grouping of paths, or really singular path, is you have the G tag for group, and then you've got a bunch of classes that they went ahead and put on each one of these. And so that's how you're calling it out. And something that's really weird, interesting about SVG is that they have different attributes for their elements that don't necessarily align with CSS attributes. And so to change that, like this, all of this is visible simply because in my CSS I said stroke gray, and this is only for it. It was a really slow to update there, but you can see now stroke is green. And so super did the raid work. Oh, hey, welcome raiders. Hi. Mwah. Hi, Ed. Sorry for not seeing that. I was like on a tangent about SVG and I did not see what she was saying. Alphabet Tech said that they've been using Keyshape to make super basic animations. Ooh, we're totally going there. Ed is hashtag offended. It's good to see you, Ed. It's good to see your face. It's been a week. It's been a week. But you guys don't know, if any of you are unawares, Ed and I have a really fun show on Thursdays where we program inside of a VR program. It's very meta. And I'm just loving learning about program. It's in Horizon, and I'm loving learning about like just how to use their programming tools and pairing with Ed, and also learning about, he and I are going to be doing a series where we build a game together. And so learning about level design has been really cool. So you should definitely check it out. And Ed also, Blazer was brought up earlier before he raided. Ed, he knows the Blazer. He's actually what is it called? A Blazer trailblazer? Like that's too much Blazer in one terminology. Key Shapes, I'm pulling this one up now. Alphabet tag. Keyshapeapp.com. Old school reference, but 80s gamers will get me. Gauntlet. Ed needs food badly. Ed is about to die. All right, mwah, go eat food. Don't die. And also let us slack later about the food that you ate, because I love seeing pictures of your food. Goodbye. Okay, my mouse just keeps randomly dying. So if I am mouseless soon, that'll be interesting. Okay, what was I saying about Key Shape app? I think is what it was. Looking for it. Oh, it's an actual app. I was thinking it was gonna be like inline generator in the browser. Interesting. Oh, and then you rotate the cupcake. There was one like that. Let me pull up that tweet, alphabet tick, because this one, I thought there was one in particular. Yeah, it was this keyframes.app where, look at this freaking generator, where you create the animation, play with colors, create an animation. So let's go create an animation. I just want to start. I don't want to read your tips. Thank you for the option. 3D transform color and text. So we've got Pac-Man here. And then if I want to 3D, if I want to like scale him by 3 and like move him to 30 pixels on the top, like move him up, and then I press play. But I don't think I actually added it to the time. You have to add a step. But this looked very similar to, I don't actually know how to use this tool if you can't tell, but it looks really freaking cool. Keyframes.app. I wonder if it's like what you're using, which is Keyshape app, but in the browser and potentially free. But it looks very similar, where you're like creating an animation and then exporting it. This is very cool. Very, very cool. I would love to figure this out, actually. If anybody in the chat knows how. More help. Syntax, I'll be adding close tips and tricks. Ooh, that's cool. Target element, change the content of the element you're animating. Get the CSS. That's cool. Because keyframes can be tricky, especially when you're doing multiple steps. That's one thing I wanted to look at, and maybe we could use this tool. I wonder if they support SVG, because I wanted to look at doing some animations to our SVG here, which I shared earlier. And I actually need to pull up an article because I always forget how to customize SVG elements. Stroke, so I remember stroke instead of like color or background color, you use stroke to change the color of said item. Hot pink. But let's go check out, and if you were not here in the beginning when I was talking about my muse for today, it was this little guy up in the top right. So cute. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I love that so much. And when I first opened it and I saw the SVG, I was like, wow, this is really clean. So yes, hopefully that answers your question of what we're doing. And then yes, alphabet tick. I know it can be confusing if you're watching on YouTube versus watching on Twitch, because you can't see the comments. So I'm going to try to be good and remember to pop them up when I'm actually referencing them. But yes, today we're just playing around with this SVG, this SVG cat that I have in the code pin. So let's do it. Let me close out a couple things. I'm going to move that over here, leave that tweet up, and then I kind of wanted to play with this app and see if it would help us animate. So let me close that and that. And we're going to look up maybe animate SVG in CSS. So I know a couple things about SVG. I don't know much. I know that it needs to be inline in order to animate it, because you can export like a .svg file, but then you won't actually have access to the things like the actual paths or shapes or text inside that SVG unless it's inline. So I do know that you need to have your SVG inline if you want to animate it in CSS. I've forgotten a lot of the different Oh, this is so cool. Oh my gosh, I love this. Let's pull up this example. I'll share it with you in the chat if you want to pull it up with me. I want to see what the dinosaur is made from. Let's collapse the JavaScript and we can make this so much bigger. Wufoo add wrapper, wufoo add, keep going, keep going. Let's actually collapse. So the letters are really cool. I love how they do that. But I'm wondering if they're paths. I always love, this is the T-Rex, which is groups and paths, looks like primarily. Keep going past. So I know fill is one for a path. So you have the fill attribute, and then there's also the stroke attribute. And so those are things that we could use to animate and make our cat come to life. And actually, if you noticed in this SVG, there's multiple versions of the cat. And so that's so that you can basically just change the stroke of each one. And if you change the stroke in timing and in hide, show, it'll obviously make the cat look like it's moving up and moving down. But I design I have planned. Wow, this goes into detail. So this is something that I did a lot of with exporting an SVG and then taking that export and cleaning it up. And so I love that they're diving into this on CSS Tricks, because when you get this, sometimes she can be chunky. Yes, double checking chat, making sure nobody has any burning comments. Insert the SVG and animate. Here we go. So I wanted to see if they actually talk about the SVG attributes, because you can do things like transform scale, but I know specifically with paths, if you want to change the color, you have to use stroke. So I'm trying to find a list of attributes. This might not be the article for us. SVG style with CSS attributes, maybe properties might be the word. Potential. Let's see if we can find. Yay! I think this is the one we're gonna need. So fill, because you're like, what the heck is fill? It's how you can fill in like shapes. Oh, let's do this. I just had a brilliant idea. Okay. SVG shapes, because there's only a set amount of them. Sadly, not infinite. Basic shapes SVG W3. What up? Rect, circle, ellipse, line, polyline, and polygon. I don't think I've ever used polyline or polygon. And that would mean that I've used the rest, which I have. Let's do it. All right, I'm gonna take my so sexy cat that obviously needs some love and attention, and we're gonna add to it. You have to have an SVG wrapper, and then you can start having fun. So what we're gonna do is, and there's actually a couple things like a view box that's needed, obviously. Line cap and line join, those are just preferences. You don't have to have those. So what we're going to do is build out our own SVG. And can I not collapse you? I don't really understand this view I've been given. I'll make it bigger. You make it like 2 pixels bigger and it changes back. It's very funny. Okay, and I think that font's just it's a little too big. Okay, so let's go and collapse this cat SVG. And we're going to create our own SVG. And I, of course, copied their opener, but we're going to clean it up. This XML in S is good to have. It's letting the browser know, like, it's like pointing to the SVG spec. So I'm going to leave that, but I'm going to take out, I don't think I need any of that. I'm going to leave the view box size, height, and width because I'm fine with that. I would love to know if Salt is still on the stream, if he has any thoughts on ARIA and SVG, because, oh my gosh, I would absolutely love to know more about why you would hide something like this. I'm assuming it's my, and of course it's a total guess. I would assume that you don't want the screen reader like hitting this little cute cat SVG that you've got animating. Like you want it to keep moving. You don't want it to get stuck on that. I think. I'm not actually sure why you would hide something from ARIA versus, I don't know. Maybe it's like not pertinent to your page flow. Anyways, let us move on. So animating SVG is the topic for today, but we need some SVGs to get started. And so I want to show you, and I'm actually going to give our body, because I kind of want things, I want things to lay out nicely. So let's give our body, I'm going to make it a column for now, but we can take that decision back if we hate it. And then, is it justify? I always get these backwards, so let's find out. Did it work? Did it work? Did it work? We're just gonna like brute force this. There it is. So I get these two mixed up with which axis I'm on whenever I'm in a row or a column. So I just want I want everything to be in a column, and I want it all to be centered. And if you want to see what I'm working inside of, I can say background color. I want a really pretty green, but I don't have off the top of my head. Padding? No, let's do margin. Let's do like more than that. Okay. So first we have the cat, which we will be attempting to do a little bit of animating with. But before we can kind of get to that point, we're like building up layers, talking about things. And I actually should be more specific when I'm telling that one to be hot pink. So let's give this one a class of GitHub cat. Yeah. So now an SVG with a class of GitHub cat. So now whenever we try to style our gorgeous circle, oh, it should be beautiful. We won't run into any overlapping issues. So let's go ahead and say SVG circle, and I think we're gonna have to double check the CSS Tricks article, but I think you just use fill, which we're gonna close this one. Yes, fill, and then you literally call out the element, or I guess if you gave it a class. But I think my problem is that my circle doesn't know how big it's supposed to be, is my problem. Presentational styles, yeah. I think if you, I don't think the rest is needed. So we're gonna try giving our SVG a height, which I'm wondering, does she already have a height? Height. Let's mess that one up. Can we give it to the circle? Let's try it out. Height of 200. That sounds fun. And it could also be what I did here. Height, that, I want you to be a circle. And sure, we'll change this so it's not clipping. View box is like the most mysterious thing of all. I know if we look up a view box SVG and yeah, viewport versus view box for complete beginners. Beautiful. I just got a giggle from the viewport. Okay. So this ellipsis I wonder what the difference between that and a circle is. Interesting. Let's go back and check out what he did. We're just going to pull up the whole thing because I feel like I'm not seeing all of it. Yeah. The CX and the CY and the radius. Flippity dip knew we were. I was like, I feel like even though this is an ellipsis here and it has CX, CY, I was like, I think we need those same guys. So let's go back over to our circle. That's not our circle, this one. And we're going to give them a CX, a CY, and a radius. And now we see a circle. What? Oh, what? Now, our circle is black. And I think we told it to be red. So we do need to figure out, oh, I said class of circle. That doesn't exist. Now it will turn red. There it goes. Which I do need to go ahead and say class of circle, just so that I can have multiple SVG elements. And then let's go ahead and give our our flex a gap of like, sure, maybe 40. 40's all around. Okay, but if you'll notice, this is why I did give it a class of circle. If you'll notice, the circle elements inside of this SVG are now red, which I love it. I love it. It is showing why we need a little bit more specificity here. There we go. But now I think we can, that is so cool. We could actually, just with what we know now, start animating like the circles on the cat, like to make them flicker. I think we should do that. Oh, that's awesome, Salt. Hey, Copperbeardy. Salt got his mom an appointment for her COVID vaccine. That's really great. I don't think they're rolling out that fast here. So that's wonderful that they are for you. And then of course we're saying hi. Right. Trying to be better about showing who I'm talking to. That way it's not just the voices in my head. So now that we have a little bit of the basics of inline SVG, if you want to animate, and weird properties like fill or stroke. I found out if you work in IT, you are considered an essential worker. Wow. It is live. This is live. Hi. Hi, Fahim. Well, we're live for now. If you're watching this in the future and it's a recording, it's not live. So that might be confusing. Okay. So yes, we talked about how it needs to be inline in order to animate the SVG, and how there are very distinct and different properties for SVG elements in CSS that don't exist anywhere else, that you're not accustomed to. So now let's go ahead and try to animate some of those. So let's just do like a super basic on our cat one. Well, first of all, I want to hide the other cats except for the topmost cat, because this triple cat effect is like throwing me off. So it's throwing me off my game. All right, so let's go grab the inspector tool, and I'm just going to grab the grouping that is the lowermost one. Does that make sense? Are these all, and this is an animation if you're just now joining us. Hey, we're talking about animating SVG inline today with CSS. This is an animation that I got from GitHub, and I grabbed their SVG so that we could play around with it and look a little bit more deeply into how you actually call out certain things in SVG and animate them and even style them with CSS. So it looks like all of these groupings, let's see. If I say display, hi Hansa. Hi, hello. If I say, you should let me know, Salt, whenever you like are able to get one, because that's really cool that they're also like, I feel bad though, because I'm like, I really want one, but I also know there's people that need it more than I do. So I struggle with that, but I also really want to start traveling. And I know there's going to be some conferences in the fall that require you to have like proof of vaccine. And as a DevRel, I'm like, oh, I really, really want to do that. Like, I really want to go. I really want to be there. So Salt said, I know a handful of people in KC that are getting them at our age. That does make me feel better. Because, yeah, I don't like the stress around like, the decision of like, am I being responsible? But it shouldn't be, hopefully it shouldn't be that much longer until they're more widely available, at least here in the States. I know we have an international audience, got some friends who are, some developers who are over in Bulgaria, and they've already gotten both stages of theirs. And my sister is an EMT, and she's gotten, I think both of her, I know she's gotten the first one, but I'm pretty sure she finished. So they're rolling, they're coming out. This is what I was wondering about is I don't think display none is going to work because we told the stroke to be pink. Can you say none? Is stroke none a thing? I'm gonna look it up because I don't know. I don't know if I know this one off the top of my head. Turn off the stroke. Fills and strokes, SVG. Because I'm wondering if I have to like set it to an opaque color to make it go away, since stroke was how I set, or if I should say like stroke, like turn off the stroke width. The stroke width should be 0. That seems wrong. Let's see, stroke. Maybe it's like, hang on. There's got to be a better way. Hiding. Hiding inline SVG element. Element. I hope we can. Yeah, I know. Can't believe you've been to Bulgaria and I haven't. Hiding inline SVG from screen readers, not what we want to do. See, I was wondering about if it's like visibility. Fill transparent. I wonder if like stroke transparent is a thing. It still feels dirty because it's still there, but it's still visible. It's still visible. Let's give this one a, whoops. If I could, red is not very distinct. Let's say purple. Okay. Wait. Is it working? I really can't tell. I mean, I know it's turning off the purple, but is it turning the pink back on? What is happening here? Let's go ahead and profile color modes. What is this? What is that grouping? I'm going to go ahead and talk to this entire group and tell it to be stroke of purple. Okay, so that is for all of the cats, all of our cats. And I don't think these paths have any identifiers other than this same class name. So I'm wondering if they used, surely they didn't use something like nth child or like to animate through them, maybe. Interesting. And again, if you're just now tuning in, I will show you, I think I was gonna say I have the link here. We are diving a little bit, just a smidge pitch into SVG animations, which this is the news for today on GitHub. When you enable dark mode and little light flickers and little cat comes up. and then pops back down. Okay, so we're going to go back, and I think this is definitely going to be a 2-part series, if not 3 parts, because we're kind of laying down the foundation work of how to get an SVG inline and how to call out different properties. But right now, all I want to do is hide the other cats and just have one cat showing. But this not being my SVG and me being unfamiliar with the layers, I'm trying to figure out why none of all cats have names. Why all cats no have names? Let me think. Let's go ahead and close this and call out the group of cats. And I think these are both classes, so we're going to need to add periods to them. And then stroke of blue, since, you know, it says elimination blue, might as well. Now I'm wondering if I got the, do I need to call the path out? Any path that's inside of that group? No. Why are you not listening? Did I get it wrong? Pretty sure it was a class. I'm going to inspect. Let's find out. Grab the cat. Don't grab the cat. That would be painful. So I grabbed the class that's on this group. So I think maybe I need to go ahead and say the group that's inside of that. Let's try that. Instead of path, because it's actually group and then path. It's always hard to know if it's me or if it still hasn't refreshed. Interesting. I don't know why it's not updating. I don't think I was that specific with my CSS. If we go ahead and hide the hot pink line, which has cracked me up that that's considered hot pink. If we hide the hot pink line, then we lose visibility of everything. Oh, let's refresh. Just make sure we're all handy dandy. Okay, cool. So the cat has disappeared completely, and now let's just focus on getting this to work. I shouldn't need important. Stroke of blue. Okay, so I was going to try to use their SVG exactly, but I'm getting too muddled. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is, I know that it's the group that has blue in it, that's our cats. So I'm going to go ahead and add in our own classes. I'm just going to collapse all of these. And I'm sorry if it's a little slow. My mouse keeps becoming unresponsive. So this one has blue in it. So I'm going to name it cats in cats. And then inside of it, I'm going to say, I'm going to give each cat, even though we could use nth child, since we're kind of in a like performance kick, I really don't want to use nth child. I do worry about 5 cats total. Beautiful. I do headspace, and last night it was on the sleep cast that I listened to was a cat marina. It was beautiful. If you're into that sort of thing. So now we should be able to get rid of all of this ridiculous nonsense and say the class of cats. And yeah. Yeah. I have no idea. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it was my space. Could have a space between here like the selector had, but it's actually the same element. It's not nested. I'm an idiot. Wow. Yeah, that. Listen, I got the cats to turn blue. What more do you want from me? Okay, so we're going to turn everything pink again. And now that we're being more specific on the cats, which I really didn't need to go and give them a class, but I did. So we're going to use it. Now what I want to do, now that our cats are blue, is talk to each cat individually and hide them unless they're the top cat. Which cat 1 is top cat? I should have 0 indexed it. I did not. So let's go ahead and select everybody except for cat 1, and we need to hide them, which I think we're going to have to do some weird, I think it's going to get funky. So hold on to your seats. Because I don't know. First of all, I have no idea if stroke transparent has been a thing. No. That's a big fat no. Okay. Let's save it. Let's open up our inspector. And let's go over to that selector that I just created. Where are you? Oh. I think I gave cats to the wrong thing. I don't know why. It's like looking. Oh. What did I do? Oh, GitHub cat must. I put that on at the very beginning and I totally blipped that I put that on. So let's go down to cats and then each of our cat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now all we have to do is figure out how to hide this. So on this selector, stroke transparent doesn't seem to be doing anything. So maybe we say visibility hidden, display none. Think of another thing to do. Stroke width 0. Stroke RGBA doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter, matters. All right, back to the article we go. So I tried stroke with 0. I tried giving it a transparent color. I tried giving it, oh, I didn't try fill transparent. Let's try that. I mean, we haven't set a fill, so I really don't expect it to work, but I'll try anything when I'm practicing. Nope. Okay. Visible hidden collapse. This is the usage note for visibility, which isn't, it's not helping us here. Unless I need like importance or something because I'm not being specific enough, but I feel like we're being specific enough. Hiding an Svg element in HTML without disabling clip paths. Wow, that was a really specific. Oh, position, style, width. See, I really don't want to say width and height 0. Because then when you animate it, actually, what's GitHub doing? Because right now they have all these cats on the screen. Are they turning them black so they blend with the background? Is that what they're doing? Okay, let's grab this and try to, well, we'll select the cat because I know that the other ones are close. How are you being hidden? Opacity. You know, that makes me so happy because if you were with us last week, we learned that opacity is one of the most acceptable ways to animate something. And if it works on SVG inline elements, oh my gosh, how did I not think of opacity? Did it work? It didn't work. What am I doing wrong? Thinking with my brain. Because they were definitely using opacity 0 on profiles, color mode frames on this. What about the actual path? Maybe my problem is that, what is your path doing? Wait. I have the wrong cat selected. Pardon me. I thought I selected the right cat. Where's the hidden cat? Did they remove it? No, they wouldn't do that. Hang on. Go down to the blue. I'm just going to pick one in the middle because I know that one's not visible. Box sizing, transform origin, for not stroke. I am so confused. I am so confused. So are they moving them? Pardon me. I'm in need of sustenance because I'm apparently falling asleep. This is really interesting. I don't know why all of these paths seemingly inherited from G profile color modes ILU. Well, this is interesting. Well, let's go back to ours. I really want to get these cats hidden. So there's got to be a way. Opacity. Let's call out this element specifically. Actually, is it showing up anymore? I know. We will select something bigger that we can for sure see and try there. It is hiding. I just couldn't tell because there were so many cat layers. When you get so many cats deep, you can't really tell what you're doing anymore. I think opacity is going to work for us, which is beautiful. So let's go ahead, instead of stroke transparent, try opacity of your road. And then we're going to save and we're going to refresh because I did a lot of stuff in the inspector and I don't want any of that trash garbage there. All right. Why cat? Why? Why exactly? Okay. I'm wondering if I don't have everything selected that I need to have selected. So let's see. That path is right here. Okay. I think there are unaccounted for cats is what's happening. So let's go back up to our SVG. And I was in the process of collapsing. Hi, Jay. We're talking a little bit about inline SVG and animating it today. Right now, we're just trying to hide some cats, some get up cats. Okay, collapse, collapse, collapse. Okay. Aria, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'm worried that I have many things outside of this one right here. Oh, okay. So our cats group here, which I need to make it a little bit smaller so we can see more at once. I just found out that you're doing live Twitch too. Hi, welcome. Episode is almost over today. It's gonna be a short one on SVG, but every day I do UI Fridays, and on Thursdays I do VR Thursdays. Me and Ed Charbonneau, my cohort in crime, are doing programming inside of a VR program. It's very meta, but yeah, Thursdays and Fridays. What about you, Jay? Yes. Yeah, I know. I do. Sometimes we do. UI Fridays is a bit CSS-y. Today, SVG. Is that a word? SVGG. G. Anyways, back to this. But yeah, what are you doing, Jay? What are you up to? So I don't think I have all my cats labeled. So let's go ahead and fix that. Obviously, this is so obvious once I zoom out the font. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then nameless cats. So here's what we're gonna do. We are going debating. Yeah, let's do it. Class equals, we're going to give the rest of the class, the rest of the cats. What did I do just now? I was like in the middle in the middle of that class call out. Okay, each one their own number and continue forth until we have only one cat remaining. 10, way more than I anticipated. But now, instead, let's go back up here. Turtle, I need to call out everything that has cat in it. So I need, I'm gonna like just totally guess. It's something like all of cat dash. Not it. There's a way. There's like attribute equals. Oh, it's saying things. Sorry, I'm gonna go back over here. I just found out that you're doing live Twitch too. I'm messing around with GraphQL and MongoDB. Noise. I hear good things about GraphQL of late. Turtle guy. Class asterisk equals cat. Thank you. You're beautiful. I was kind of close. Yeah, I wasn't close at all. Okay. Class. All classes that include cat. We should see no cats at this point. Oh, we see no cat. Oh, it's because I have cat in the cat dash. Can I say that? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're totally getting there. So now I've called out every single one of these cats here that have cat dash in the class name. Thank you, Turtle. And now we're going to specifically call out the first one, and we're going to say stroke of blue. And then we can get rid of cats because we don't need that one anymore. Cat one, I think is what I need. Did I need cat one? What I'm worried about is specificity. I think that's our problem. I think that's why we are still not seeing a blue cat. Oh, it's because I didn't reset the opacity. Why am I so special? We have to reset our opacity. Okay. And actually, we could just leave. Okay, sorry, I had to freak out a little bit because we finally have one cat on the screen. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Cats. Yes, I was saying cats, and then I said stroke of blue, which is totally because we're not going to be messing with stroke. We're setting it, and we're forgetting it. We're set and forget. Okay. And so to make a point, so that we can have a point to today's ramblings of beautiful SVG CSSness. Oh, actually, that's not the cat I wanted. Let's do this first, real quick. Maybe not. I'm pretty sure I have a cat 10. I thought that was the last one. I'm gonna cry. Pondering my life. Why is the cat 10 not showing up? Is it me? Is it it? Is it the cat? Is the cat angry at me? Let's see if we change this number, if anything changes. It does. So cat 1 and cat 10 are the exact same path shape. I don't know why they have both. I feel like based on how you drew you drew the animation to like pop the cat up and pop the cat back down, you would just need cat 1 through 9, and you just reuse one. But I digress. Their SVG's like been beautiful up till now, so we're gonna let it alone. So we've got our cat popping up over the bushes, and instead of hot pink, let's find a really pretty green. Actually, we're just gonna stick with green, and we're gonna take off the background color. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, so I want to animate the circle that we drew, the absolutely gorgeous 200 by 200 circle. I know you've never seen better. You're welcome. So if we go and we talk to our circle, circle, that's a bit much. And we say, Do, 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 do. Let's do it on hover. Hover. And then we'll say, like, we want to make it, we'll say we'll make it disappear on hover. So instead of doing something like this, because I think we can go back to the basics, what we talked about last week, which I'm going to pull up UI Friday ideas. We're going to go into last week's so that I can show off this beautiful screenshot that was in a Paul Lewis CSS article talking about performance CSS. And if you remember from last week, these options right here they're your options for the most performant animations possible in CSS. You'll see opacity, which GitHub, yes, they were using opacity yet again. And so if we go back over to our code, instead of doing something like changing the fill, if we change opacity, which apparently is not only the most performant way to go, but it works with SVG elements as well. Let me just turn off the opacity so you get the same type of effect. If you also remember, you need to promote that element by saying will change opacity so that it only changes in the compositor layer. So we say will change opacity, save it. It is now the most performant blinking dot we can make with inline SVG. But I think next week we're going to pull this up and we'll get our cats animating. And we'll play with the colors. And I'll do a little bit of research on SVG performance inline and see if I can pull up any juicy tidbits. But that's really all I have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I really, really hope that wherever you are in the world, your Friday is freaking fabulous and not stressful at all. So have a wonderful one. Send me your questions at Alyssa on Twitter. I might just bring them in as my next muse for UI Fridays. But thank you everyone for tuning in and for your comments. Mwah! Have a great Friday. Bye.